Thanks for tuning in to Twisted Youngins, and we are the most unorthodox show on the globe. We hope everybody's having a good day today. I am one of your hosts, Myra B. King.
And this is Desi Des.
And it's your boy Mojo in the building. We have a special guest with us today, so let the people know who you are.
Now, thank you for having me. My name is Cossmarte, and I'm the CEO and founder of ConBody.
Absolutely.
Could you say that one more time?
My name is Cossmarte, and I'm the CEO and founder of ConBody.
ConBody. Congratulations for that, man.
Absolutely, man. Let's start it off. Where are you from?
So I'm from New York City, specifically. It's a different neighborhood now. You know, most of the neighborhoods that we used to call hoods are being gentrified. So, that's what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was it like growing up out there? Like, everybody hears the natural stories, New York, crime city and everything like that, drug city and everything like that. How about, how was it out there?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in this neighborhood, it was very, very drug infested. As a kid, I would see people like lining up, like there were dope lines down the block. Drugs was pretty much legal. Basically heroin was everywhere. I saw people from one corner line up to the next corner, and it was, you see cops driving by and they wouldn't even turn a blind eye because they didn't want to get into any situation. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. Every 10 steps I saw a heroin needle on the ground. And that's what I grew up seeing. And the people that were serving these people were, some of my cousins, some of my family members, who I grew up seeing making money. I didn't have any money. My mom immigrated from the Dominican Republic when she was pregnant with me. And we ended up in this neighborhood where most of my family lived.
And so it was like a project complex?
Yeah, the projects was around the corner. I lived in a tenement building. And so so my neighborhood was like the first, they used to call it the first ghetto in the whole country, so all the Jewish people lived down here in these small tenement apartments. Our apartments were so small that our bathrooms were part of the kitchen. I didn't grow up with no sink. We basically brush our teeth in the bathtub. There's still buildings out here where we share, the toilet in the hallway. That's how it was. The tenement apartments was just like small little ghettos. First immigrated people were the Jewish people coming into this neighborhood. And then in the 70s, 60s, 70s, it became primarily Puerto Rican, Dominican, Blacks, and then Chinatown.
So, go ahead.
You said that your neighborhood is changing through gentrification. Like, what is, how it's looking? Like, what's the difference? How you grew up to now?
It's great. I mean, back then I saw heroin needles everywhere. Now I'm seeing art galleries everywhere. I'm seeing latte cafes everywhere. You know what I mean? So poodle walking, this is what I'm seeing. And white people, we see people from, that are coming in here. They think it's cool to be in the city and they're moving out here and they're raising up the rent, So the problem we're facing is that, where in the early 2000s, when it was really starting to get gentrified, the landlords saw that they could charge a premium price for these small apartments. When we were paying, my family was paying, my mom's still paying $700 for a 2-bedroom down here. But, back then, when they started moving in, they started charging $1,500. Now my mom's apartment is worth $4,000. And in the early 2000s, they were trying to give her 20 G's to move out. And that was 20 G's to her was like, yo, I'm getting 20 G's to move out of the hood, and so she was thinking about like, I'll take that money and buy a house. But when you start thinking about it, you take that 20 G's, you put a down payment on a $200,000 house, then the monthly payments for the next 25, 35 years way more than the $500 of rent that you were paying. You know, now you're paying $1,500. Now you're fucking up your mortgage because you can't, you know, work your balances or your finances out. So that's how people get tripped up. You know, that's how people get broke. And then now the neighborhood is just like, I would say probably 80% white.
Why did the neighborhood look like that with the needles and stuff on the ground? Like it was because it was poor? Did all the businesses leave? You know, like how was it before that?
There was not a lot of businesses. There was a few businesses, but not as busy right now, like how it is now. Back then was, I don't know, the streets were crumbled up. You know, I guess New York City was in a deficit. We're talking about like Mayor Dinkins era, you know, all that, like 80s, early 90s. There was no funding, you know, and then Giuliani came. He started locking up everybody with the stop and frisk, you know, policies that he started putting. So I remember going to school, high school, I was getting stopped going to school, you know, search, you know, getting locked up before going to school, you know, for a bag of weed. Now you can smoke a blunt in front of the precinct and, you know, the police officer is going to say hi to you, you know, especially if you're white, you know, so it's just a crazy concept right now. And it's messed up that we had to pay for that when we were young.
Yes, extremely. And I can imagine like the circumstances of, you know, like you said, seeing heroin needles on the ground, people lined up, coming from poverty, not having a bathroom sink, really having to brush your teeth in the tub. Of course, on your mind was making some money, like finding a way to get you and your family out of there, right?
Means.
Yep. And as a kid, I'm worried about myself, you know. Like, it was not, you know, my mom, thank God, she always put food on the table. You know, we were on welfare, we were on, you know, food stamps, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So thank God she made it work with the means necessary. But I didn't have no clothes. You know, she was going to Salvation Army. I was getting the hand-me-downs from cousins and all that stuff. And, but yeah, I mean, I was money hungry. You know, when people would ask me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I would tell them I wanted to be rich. You know, and so I did any type of work, hustle. I remember being 5 years old, carrying a big ass black garbage bag, going from apartment to apartment, knowing that everybody's drinking beer. I'm collecting every can, going to the bodega for 5 cents per can, you know, and collecting like $5, you know, and that was it, you know. And I'm in the summertime, I'm turning on the fire hydrant, I'm playing the cards, you know, and that was my hustle. And I just, any opportunity I had, I took advantage of it. But the world of drugs was where I saw, you know, the quickest money. And that's where I thought, you know, success was.
When you were talking about the story of when you were young and how when you first started selling drugs, how you all were around the clock like 24/7, wouldn't go home for 3 days, you know, wouldn't shower. What were those times like?
My mindset was just time is money, and I still have that mindset, but I'm not, you know, I feel like time is life right now, you know, and just take advantage of every second that I'm alive, you know, because it's so short. I've seen a whole bunch of friends and people that I know, you know, lose their life, especially, you know, during these times in COVID and all that stuff. You know, it's sad to see people go, but you know, back then, I mean, I didn't want to leave the block, you know, because it was just, there was junkies coming up on the block every second, you know, and I had the best work out there. I was not cutting my stuff, and people, word of mouth, you know, drug addicts were just, you know, coming back and forth. And so that was my boys and I, like, mindset was just like, time is money and we ain't got time to waste. And our friends that were out there smoking weed, we were like, get mad at them because they were just wasting their life away just smoking weed, you know, not doing nothing, not making any money, begging for $1, you know, scavenging when we lit up an L. And so we had all those friends start hustling for us. And so that became where we started a whole like delivery service concept.
Yeah.
Speak about that, because you said that when you all started to deliver, well, when you all made the business cards and you all, was it the happy endings you all put on it? You say you all saw your target market boom out the roof and you all started getting more clientele.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
targeting your business, finding a way to market your business that way.
Yeah, we came up. We were a little bit. We were fearless, you know, to go up to random strangers and be like, "I got this 24-hour drug delivery service. I'm selling coke. I'm selling weed," you know, and we just gave out our business cards, you know, and the word of mouth just got out there, and we started going after a different target market. We didn't go up to, you know, when I grew up, I was selling crack. You know, I stopped selling crack. You know, I was selling grams for $50. Now I got, you know, white people coming up to me to buy $100 a gram. You know, so the profit margins like grew, and it was just a whole different system. It was easier because we didn't have to deal with, you know, the hood beef. You know, you crossing my turf and all the bullshit that we had to deal with, you know, people's egos and stuff like that. It was like, we're dressing up in suits. We're going up to people with professional jobs. We're dealing to like judges, lawyers, doctors, you know. There's stories that could get crazy. I'm not even gonna get deep, you know, to the people that we sold drugs to, but it was really crazy professionals that, you know, didn't give us any trouble, and they gave us more money than what we needed sometimes. So it was insane.
I mean, clearly it worked for you. We talking about a little over 2 million from 19 to 23. I mean, that's a crucial point in time in your life. You know, that's a crucial time in the point for any young blooming adults, male or female. How does it like to have that type of cash K at that point in time and to be living in that point?
We were, I mean, there's just so many flashbacks comes in my head when I think about, like, you know, going into the Louis Vuitton store on Fifth Avenue and just spending mad crazy money and just going out there and just buying all our friends Jordans, you know. I came home from prison with 500 pairs of Jordans. So, like, you know, it was just a crazy time that, you know, and just spending money, driving the craziest car. My car was, gotcha, sorry. My car was, you remember the Dub magazine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people, the youngins, don't remember the Dub magazine, but, you know, I had the 22-inch gold rims Cadillac Fleetwood, fucking, excuse my language, all types of TV on it, and the loudest system block, just making it mad hot, pearl white seats. You know, just thinking I'm a pimp, you know, because
it is a suit. So you would think you was a pimp, so you had women galore.
Yeah, and that was a lot of money. A lot of money went to women too.
Yeah. Around that age, what would you say at that point in time was at that moment, what was your most wildest purchase? If you can remember.
We went straight to the Cadillac dealership, bought a presidential Escalade, $88,000 in cash.
And how old was you at that time?
I might have been like 21, maybe.
Wow.
21.
Wow.
So you go in there 80-something cash.
Like, yeah, cash. And then the dealer robbed us for a G because we had a counting machine. So we went over there and we put the cash on the table, and then they called us back. It was like, there's $1,000 missing. We didn't count right. I'm like, nah, we counted this shit in the machine. We know we got bands on it. You know what I mean? So, but we were like, whatever, here you go. We didn't want to problem. Give me the card. We picked it up and we bounced. But yeah, it was shit like that.
How did it happen? Like, how did how did the downfall happen? How did they catch you lacking? Because most people out here, you know, they hear wiretaps and all of that other good stuff, or, you know, informants and everything like that. How did it happen with you? How did they catch?
Somebody snitched.
Yeah, somebody snitched, you know, and end of the day, somebody snitched. But it was a deeper story. I mean, like we had a dispatcher. At that time, I had 7 cell phones because each phone only held 1,500, 2,500 contact numbers. This is when we have, you know, so we, you know, now iPhones, you can hold, you know, you have unlimited data. You can hold thousands and thousands of contact numbers. But back then, we were limited to, you know, having, and it was crazy how we had to deal with the texting back then, you know, so, you know, we had the 1, 2, 3. So like, if you're trying to type an A, you have to hold down the A and B and C. So we had a whole texting service too. So I had an actual person, you know, texting like 24 hours a day, and we had a dispatcher. We were texting people deals across our network through cell phones. So my dispatcher basically went behind my back and started a new phone line. And he started his new phone line, started stealing my customers. And one of my customers that had my personal number calls me. He's like, "Hey, yo, you're giving out this work. You know, this product is not the same product that you guys, and it's coming in a green bag." And I'm like, "We don't sell no green bags." And so he was like, "Yeah," and they gave me a new card with it. And I'm like, "What? What's that? What's the number on it?" And so he gave me that number. I called that number, and it was one of my dispatchers that was working. And so he picks up, and he gets scared. He's like, "Yo," I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And he hangs up. So I had to connect with in the T. These are all like prepaid T-Mobile stores back then, and so we just flipped all the phone numbers back to new phones. And so I took that phone number, I flipped it, and so now I'm making deliveries with that phone number, just thinking because this dispatcher stole, you know, my clients from it, so I'm just sending people over with people that were calling that number, not knowing that he gave out his cars to a federal agent or some shit like that. And so now that phone's being tapped, and so now we're sending, you know, all my people, and they had about 40 undercover sales. And at the end of my drivers basically told them where the stash was at. And basically when the D's came, they caught me going into the stash house, and that's when they raided me.
How much did they catch in the stash house?
So about 1.5 kilos.
So
Crazy.
talk to me about Rikers Island. We hear a lot about that, the horrific conditions of Rikers Island. You know, it's infamous. A lot of stars has been to Rikers Island, and not only stars, but a lot of people has lost their life in Rikers Island. Talk to me about Rikers Island.
I mean, Rikers Island was crazy. I spent like about 1.5 years of my life in Rikers. I've been there 3 times. As a youth, you know, it was different. And I mean, I guess, you know, I haven't been inside for the last, I don't know, more. I haven't been in Rikers Island since 2009. So things have changed. And it's just, in the beginning when I went in there, it was scary. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I've been to juvenile before that. And then I went in there, and, you know, you got gangs asking you if you're with it or not, you know, and, you know, you either like get taken advantage of, or you fight. And I had to fight. You know, there was days I had to fight almost every single day because I was gang. But that was like more of a youth side. When I got into the adult side, it was a little bit calmer, but, you know, jail politics still exists. Gang politics still exists. I was sneaking in drugs. You know, I was getting my friends to come visit me and, you know, pass me stuff in the visiting room. I'm selling weed in there. I'm manipulated the officer to bring shit for me. So it's a corrupt place. And then it's a nasty place because, yeah, everything, there's a lot of decapitation happening in the facilities. You know, it's a really old facilities. you know, all they do, there's got to be asbestos and all that stuff coming off the wall. They basically just paint over it, you know. There's bugs, you know, crawling on top of you. That, you know, when I was there, and I remember in 2005 when I was there, there was one night that I got up, and it was like a horror movie. The amount of mices you saw, there was about 1,000 mice, you know. So I used to be, you know, we're in a dorm room, 50 men, beds side by side, you know, and you know, in the middle of the night, you don't want to get up because these mice is, you know, might bite you. You know, you never know. So wrapping yourself in the blanket and you're like trying to sleep, hold your pee until the, you know, the light comes on and the rats go away. So that's how.
Shoot. Do you think the conditions in Rikers Island and many other jails, do you think they're too harsh for the inmates?
I think you know, we call these facilities correctional facilities, and when we define that word correcting, none of that stuff is happening in there. You know, we don't. What we think is corrective is punishment, and punishment is not going to help or correct the problem. It's going to make it worse. You know, when somebody hits me, I want to hit them back. You know. If we had more opportunities in there, you know, now they're starting to bring like programs in there, and we're actually going inside, you know, teaching how to be a personal trainer and stuff like that. We're trying to recruit people from Rikers Island right now, and we're actually pending still, so we're waiting to go inside. But we were doing that pre-pandemic, right before the pandemic. We were going inside, but there was no programs when I was there. There was nothing to do. You're basically sitting in your cell. You're going out there. You're dealing with the jail gang politics, or you playing like spades or dominoes, you know. And that was like a waste of time and waste of life, you know. And if I had an opportunity or something, you know, opened up where I had like some type of educational transitional services or prepare me for what I had to deal with when I came home, you know, I would have definitely taken advantage of it. But there was nothing like that.
Then when you get out of jail, you're facing the same problems because they didn't teach you nothing, and it was no correction being done.
Exactly. And basically, when you go upstate into prison, because Rikers Island is a jail where you like waiting to get sentenced. When you're towards the end of your prison sentence, you have transitional services program. You know, that basically the transitional services program is like a 1989 class. You take a piece of line paper. They tell you you're gonna make your resume with this. They give you a ruler. You know, you draw lines and you make a resume with a piece of number 2 pencil and a piece of paper. You think I'm gonna go to a job interview with a piece of paper like that? Like they don't have no computers. You have no internet. You know, you don't even fill out applications, you know, with or submit a resume with a piece of paper anymore. You have to upload it on a computer. You know, so they setting you up for failure. You know,
basically you laughing in your face, got you drawing lines.
I mean, while you're in there around this, I mean, around at what point in time, I ain't gonna say at what point in time, how did it feel for doctors to come to you, tell you, hey, you're overweight, your cholesterol's bad, you probably only got about 5 years left to live? At that point in time, what were you thinking? Like, well, it just, you know, I'm gonna let it go, or, you know, I gotta fight, I gotta do something?
My first thought in my mind was like, these people are bullshit. You know, I'm 24 years old. I'm not gonna die in prison. I'm okay. You know, like I feel okay. You know, but when I started thinking, and I'm like, nah, these people got my blood work. You know, they called me out of, you know, hundreds of inmates, or thousands of inmates in that facility down to a medical unit. You know, these people are telling me the truth. You know, and what the physician there that sat me down, she was like, you know, you have we have a couple recommendations. You either like eat correctly, and they put me on a special diet. Basically, they took, you know, so they give you 4 pieces of bread every meal. They gave me 1 piece of bread every meal. So they were starving me basically. And then they were telling me to work out, you know, and so I started working out obsessively. And, you know, I started going out to the yard, running, going back to my cell, doing all types of calisthenic, you know, body weight exercises. I eventually lost over 70 pounds in 6 months.
And that's what inspired you to start your business, your gym?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what really inspired me to start my business was, you know, I helped over 20 inmates who's over 1,000 pounds combined. So I had this idea. I didn't think I was going to like start a business behind it, but it was now towards the end of my incarceration where I ended up in the box in solitary confinement. And I felt like I had a spiritual awakening that really made me consider like what I really wanted to do when I came home. You know, I started changing my mindset. Instead of, I felt so much regret for what I've done and for my family being, you know, hurt and harmed through the stuff that I've done in my life. And I was like, I want to get back to society in a more positive way. So there's where the idea came about. And I wrote a mini business plan while I was in solitary confinement. And then I was released out to the world, and I basically did what I wrote. You know, I started going out to the park. I started going up to females wearing yoga pants and just started pitching them, telling them I got like a prison style boot camp. And I dragged 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. And, you know, today we've trained over 70,000 people.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, you said at
Well,
one
let him
point,
finish. Let him finish.
No, I just said it's been a crazy journey. You know, it's been a crazy journey.
Was they scared when you was coming up to them? Like, man, what the prison style boot camp?
Yeah, no, some people are like, yo, what the fuck? Or like they put, you know, they just keep moving, you know, but I was relentless, man. I was just going up. I was going to the subway, making announcements. I was jogging next to people and then starting a whole conversation, you know, sharing my story, giving them my business card. And then I had a couple people that I knew. My mom was my first client. She was non-paying, you know, she basically gave me a discount on the rent for the couch. But, you know, I had her out there, I had one of her friends out there, and then it just started growing. You know, people attract people. When you see other people working out and see a group and you started, you know, I remember like doing pull-up bar training with this little piece of pipe that I had between fences. And then people were like, oh, can I, you know, when do you do classes and inquiring and all this stuff? And then it just started growing. We've been doing a documentary actually right now for the last 8 years with a 4-time Academy Award director. And that documentary should be coming probably up next year.
Congratulations again on that, man. Yeah. Go ahead, plug your business real quick. Like,
please do.
Go let everybody know what the name of it is again, where it's currently located.
Yeah, so we're in the Lower East Side of New York City. My company is called ConBody. That's CON as in Nancy, BODY.com. Check me out on IG. You already know my name is Cossmarte. Hit me up, work out with us virtually. We have a platform for $14 a month where we have all types of videos. And what we do is hire people coming out of the prison system to teach these fitness classes. So all you need is your little small 9x6 prison cell space at home, you know, more constrained space, your body weight, and your favorite, you know, formerly incarcerated individual to get that prison body you always desired. So, you know, come check us out.
I think I may sign up for the virtual.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, with everything going on, how did it? I mean, looking back, going from pitching your story 20 to 30 times a day to getting, you know, a Saks Fifth endorsement and everything like that, you know, looking back on everything, I won't say was it worth it. Do you think you would have changed anything about your past, or would you relive it again just to get back to where you are today?
You know, that's a hard question. I mean, I don't know. I guess not. You know, and I miss those times too. You know, I'm not gonna say like, yo, I didn't have fun back then. I had a lot of friendships. You know, I see people still in the same neighborhood. But yeah, no, I don't think I would do anything. You know, I think I would have. The only thing I think I would have tried to be more patient and try to step out of the hood. You know, like I felt like the only thing I knew was this four corner, and this is what ruled my life. But I wish I would have like opened up my horizons at a very earlier age.
Is there anything we can do about the school to prison pipeline?
I think opening up people's eyes, like I mentioned, like, you know, when we grew up in some neighborhood that just, you know, encloses us in one sector and doesn't give us any economical advancement. You know, I feel like these kids now, I'm going to Florida to teach a fitness class for like 500 kids. In Florida City is like the highest crime rate in the whole state of Florida. Kids are in junior high. You know, one of the dean of the school, he basically pays the kids for doing stuff, you know? And I feel like, yo, if my teacher would have gave me like $20, you know, to, you know, do something or pick something up or work something after school, you know, I would have had a different opportunity or a different light, you know? And then he's bringing in speakers like myself, other people that are, you know, helping out and stuff like that. So I think, you know, bring in, and this is, their school is called Advanced Achievement Academy. So check them out.
Out to them.
Yeah, shouts out to them.
Yeah, more trades in school. That's what I would say. Like, no matter what it is, carpentry, like you said, what you teaching, showing people, you know, basically how to exercise, you know, all that type of stuff. Whether it's working on computers now,
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
whatever it is,
STEM
trades needs to be in school, because, you know, when you get out in the world, your education, most of the stuff you forget anyway. So at least you have some type of trade to make some kind of income, so you won't be pulled into the streets of your homeboys.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely.
But I want to ask you one question before we go. You believe in the Lord? You believe in Jesus?
Absolutely. You know, I feel like my story gets deeper, and I've read the Bible from front to back. The verse that really changed me while I was incarcerated and in solitary confinement, that opened up my eyes, was Psalm 91. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say, the Lord, He is my shelter and my fortress, my God in whom I trust.
Yes, sir.
And what I get from that is to trust the process, you know. And you're doing the right thing, and right things will happen. You know, there's going to be downfalls, there's going to be, you know, great things that happen, but just keep trusting the process, you know, and things will, you know, pop off, and God will protect us. So.
God bless you, brother. Thank you so much.
And hold on, wait a second before we hit the button. We come out to New York. You got to show us around. You know, we got to come out to the gym. Man. You know, you got to show us where the best food out there, or, you know, whatever it is.
You don't need that. Like, we can just walk in, or we gotta, you know, we gotta have.
Do we gotta show anything before we come in there?
Just hit me up. That's it.
All right.
Oh, but before we get out of here, one more thing. Do you eat a specific kind of way, or like, are you vegan or something like that?
Nah, I you know, everybody has their own diet. I believe in like keto diet.
Okay, there we go.
Basically, just like, you know, taking out carbs. I don't do it all the time. I do it for a short amount of time, and I fluctuate. You know, I go up and down in weight, but when I want to lose a little bit of weight faster, I go straight keto.
Gotcha.
Hey, we appreciate you, and congratulations on everything. And most of all, you changed your mindset, which, you know, changed your life, the people's life around you, your family's life, man. And your blessings are rolling in for you, and you keep going with it.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for giving us your time.
No, thank you.
We're going to definitely keep in touch, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, sir. You have a nice one, man.
All right.